Hello, welcome to BackToCoding. For a better understanding of this video, I highly recommend you to check out the previous video or the complete playlist in the description below. Today we'll be talking about grid layout. A grid layout splits the screen up into a grid of rows and columns and allocates views to cells. You define a grid layout in a similar way to how you define the other types of layouts, this time using the grid layout element. You specify how many columns you want the grid layout to have using Android column count is equal to number, where number is the number of columns. You can also specify a maximum number of rows using Android row count is equal to number, but in practice you can usually let Android figure this out based on the number of views in the layout. Android will include as many rows as is necessary to display the views. You can add views to a grid layout in a similar way to how you add views to a linear layout. Just like a linear layout, there's no need to give your views IDs unless you are explicitly going to refer to them in your activity code. The views don't need to refer to each other within the layout, so they don't need to have IDs for this purpose. By default, the grid layout positions your views in the order in which they appear in the XML. So if you have a grid layout with two columns, the grid layout will put the first view in the first position, the second view in the second position, and so on. The downside of this approach is that if you remove one of your views from the layout, it can drastically change the appearance of the layout. To get around this, you specify where you want each view to appear and how many columns you want it to span. Let's create a new grid layout. We'll create a grid layout that specifies which cells we want views to appear in and how many columns they should span. The layout is composed of a text view containing the text to, an editable text field that contains hint text of enter email address, an editable text field that contains hint text of message, and a button labeled send. Here's what we are going to do. Sketch the user interface and split it into rows and columns. This will make it easier for us to see how we should construct our layout. Build up the layout row by row. That's it for this video. I'll be continuing more about the grid layout in the next video. Thank you for watching this video. Please do like, share and comment on this video, which really motivates me to make such useful content for you. Also, don't forget to check my other videos which can be helpful to you, and finally subscribe to my channel.